Good afternoon, Sean.
Hi, John.
Was wondering where you currently stand in regards to potentially sitting guys on Sunday.
Yeah, those conversations have taken place today, and we've got a plan. I'm going to keep that plan internal um, for a number of reasons. Number one is I haven't had a chance to talk to our players yet. So, but yeah, we've got a plan, and we'll execute that plan this week.
And do you plan on making that plan? I know, like Mike Tomlin said, Ben Roethlisberger wasn't playing. Is this something that you're going to keep secret until we reach the fields, or is that something that potentially you would give your players or let out earlier?
Yeah, no, I'm going to be very straightforward about it. I'm going to keep that within our organization for a lot of reasons. Again, A, because I haven't talked to the players yet, and B, because I just think that that's the best thing for us.
And then just both sides of the coin, what are the advantages and disadvantages that you see to potentially doing that? I know, like, Josh played a couple series last year, just, the pros and cons to both.
We could sit here all day, John, honestly, and talk about pros and cons. So at the end of the day, it's again trying to do what's best for our football team and where we are. Every team's different.
Thanks a lot.
Sure.
Hey, Sean, good to see you. How's it going?
Good, Heather. Good to see you too.
Going back to, that Mike Tomlin announced that he's going to rest some key starters and Ben Roethlisberger won't play. With you hearing that, does that at all factor into your decision as to whether or not you're going to play your starters or some key guys?
Well, yes and no. I think at the end of the day, Heather, it all comes back to, again, making sure that we're doing right by our team and the best thing for us. And I'm sure Mike's doing the same thing for his team. And so, we're always trying to weigh every factor we can, every variable, put that into the equation to help us make a good decision here. And yet at the same time, we got to come back to doing what's right for our team.
Do you have an injury update at all on Cole Beasley?
Yeah, Cole and Reggie remain. Reggie as well, and now Cole is. They're both
week to week. Okay. And then real quick, just after the game, Stefan said that he feels like he's just scratching the surface as to the potential that he has with Josh Allen and what they can do. What do you make of that when you hear him say something like that, especially given everything that they've already accomplished and everything that they've already done so far this season?
Yeah, I think it goes back to just being hungry and embracing the growth mindset. Love the fact that some of the top players on our team, always want to improve. I think that says a lot about who they are and what example that sets to our young players in our locker room.
Awesome, thanks, Sean. Appreciate it.
Sure.
Coach, good afternoon. Mookie Hawk as well for Sports 1080. How was your rest?
Yeah, probably like a lot of the other people who got off the plane when we did. Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, right?
Right, get back to work. Saran Neal, coach, and Matt Milano, describe how they impacted the game yesterday.
Well, I think Saran, he brings such great intensity on special teams and great energy to our football team overall. And then the play he made on the punt there, and the connection with Jaquan was great. High level of execution, and thought Matt Milano really got back into the flow yesterday, and you saw him, play well in space, tackle well, and made some big time third down stops for us.
Yeah, I seen him frogging at center as well. You kind of got off. We know New England was good on the run. They got some success early on, but you came out in that locker room and only held them to 15 yards, actually 60 yards total. What did you say to those guys in the locker room at halftime to get them rolling on the run defense?
Yeah, it was just, again, I thought the defensive staff did a good job with Leslie and the coaches there of making the appropriate adjustments. And a lot of it came back to fundamentals and technique and overall communication. So I think that was the start of it.
Absolutely, Coach. Hey, good luck this week.
Okay, thanks, Boogie.
Hey, Sean, how are you? Just for clarification, what was the injury that Cole suffered at the end of the game there?
Yeah, it's just a leg injury. I don't have all the specifics on it, to be honest with you.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. And I don't know if you saw the replay back, but John Feliciano's double leg takedown. What'd you think of that after the Lee Smith touchdown?
He's got a lot of work to do on that double leg takedown.
Okay. So you look at the body of work now, 15 regular season games. You guys are really battle tested. I know it's tough to win this league. We've talked about this over and over again, but how happy are you with where your team is at, not only mentally, but with the battles that you've gone through as you're kind of preparing for the playoffs?
Yeah, I think we've certainly been through different types of tests, and I think our team continues to grow and improve, and that's where I think you want to be this time of year, with a certain degree of humility and respect for the opponents, all baked into it.
Thanks, Sean.
Sure.
Hey, Sean, good afternoon. I remember last year going into week 17, and you talked about how each team is different when you have to make a decision like that, as far as resting and playing and things like that. I thought that was interesting. And if you can kind of expand on that, and how, every team is kind of different, how you have to approach maybe the thought process this year a little bit different than you might have last year, for example.
Yeah, I mean, as much as each team is different, I think each year is different because of how things play out in the last couple of weeks of the season, Sal. And so, again, I just think you got to try and do right by your team, and put them in the best position to succeed each and every week. And you can go run the analytics, you can look at injury reports, you can look at standings and potential who you play, all that type of stuff, and you can drive yourself crazy too, right? So there's a lot of variables and factors, but again, just it all comes back to trying to do what's right for our team.
Is that could you have like a paralysis by analysis, so to speak? I mean, you know what I mean? When you try to do things like that, and how much do you even have to guard against that in every kind of, when you're trying to be really detailed and buttoned up and all that, the paralysis by analysis, trying to protect against that?
Yeah, I mean, again, you can drive yourself crazy. I mean, we've definitely, me and Brandon, we try and look at everything from every angle, and at the end of the day, again, I think you just keep coming back to, hey, what's the right thing for our team?
Thanks, Coach.
Sure.
Hey, Sean, I was curious, and this is all in regard to Brian. As a former coordinator, how critical to your success was it that you got multiple years to really install your system and really get what you wanted to do going? I know you got 2 years, I believe, in Philadelphia, but I'm talking particularly in Carolina.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, multiple years of installing it is important. Continuity at the player level and the staff level is important. All that factors into being able to have your vision come to life, really, and also developing on your own. I think that as we all go through it, is improving ourselves, and all those key aspects of leadership are important. And I think that as much duplicity as you can have is I think it bodes well for success down the road. Makes sense. Is that a G-Shock you have on, by the way? Yeah. I was about to say, you can't hide money, huh? But following up, $30 about 5 years ago, I got it. $30, $35 maybe. Before the curve, it's smart. It's like Bitcoin. But following up with Brian, he told us something a few weeks back, that he wasn't really planning on doing the 4 out, the 3 out, big, empty sets until he got to training camp and he saw, okay, we might have something here. I was curious if you could share anything from that realization. Did he approach you about that? Did he talk to you about what he was seeing in training camp, or how did that kind of come together? Yeah, I just think without going into too much detail here, that as coaches, I think the collaboration, the communication is important, and that we all see things through a slightly different lens, which is healthy in a lot of ways. And so, I have the chance to, during practice, step back and see things through a wider lens than the coordinators do, and as does Brandon from a personnel standpoint. And so, we had some good conversations about, who we thought was having a good camp and who we thought could help us, and how the pieces might fit best together. And I think at the end of the day, we came up with what I think is what you see now, or what you've seen this season. And so it's always interesting to watch how training camp plays out, where certain guys start off and coaches are up on them or coaches are down, and then at the end of the day, how things kind of turn, as the weeks leading into the season roll around. So, and if you're doing things right, you try and get the best feel you can for your football team in training camp, albeit this year was shorter than normal.
Gotcha. So it was more collaborative than, I'm saying, hey, I noticed this, like, pay attention to it.
Yeah, I think it's like all decisions, very collaborative.
Gotcha. Well, thank you, Sean.
Sure.
Hey, Sean, Thad Brown, I wanted to ask, when it comes to playing the starters and chasing the 2 seed this week, how much does the possibility of fans being in the stadium for the playoffs and giving the fans as many opportunities as possible to see you guys in person play into all that?
Thad, give me that first part of your question again. I'm sorry.
Yeah, when it comes to playing the starters this weekend and chasing the 2 seeds, obviously getting a win so you can move from a 3 seed or secure the 2 seed.
Yeah.
With the possibility that there could be fans in the stadium for the playoffs, and getting a 2 seed would give you 2 home games instead of 1, how much does giving the fans as many opportunities as possible to see you guys in person in the postseason play into the decision-making this week?
Well, it's definitely one of the variables that are out there. Listen, we love to play in front of our fans. We got the best fans. I know I'm biased. We got the best fans in the NFL, and whether we're at home or on the road, and in normal years, we get great support. And so this year, knowing that, we think we're in that mode of trying to get fans and getting fans, heading down that road. I feel the more we can play in front of our fans, the better.
Does it make a difference if you get a green light or a yes from the governor's office on that sometime this week?
Again, all factors are considered, some more than others. So we really appreciate that. And again, always want to do what's right by health and safety and all the protocols that are necessary.
Thanks, Sean. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Good afternoon, Sean. After watching some of the film last night, what would you say about the offensive line's performance? They kept Josh pretty clean last night.
Yeah, good to see. I thought that they, collectively played well, communicated well, handled the things that the Patriots were trying to give us up front. So we continue to take steps in the right direction up front. Again, overall, been very happy with the way that unit has gelled and come together. And so I think that's a key part of our offense moving forward as well.
Yeah, to follow up on a little bit of what you said there, how they've kind of gelled. That's the one position group that has probably been hit with injuries more than maybe any of the other ones, and some shuffling of guys in and out of the lineup. The one guy it seems that maybe have turned the tide a little bit was when John Feliciano came back. It just seems like they're playing at a little bit different level. What does he mean to that offensive line? How do you feel like he's been playing the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I think John is he does give us energy, and he brings a level of toughness to our group, and but the overall group I think does a really good job of their approach to the game, their approach to every week. They know we've got to win the line of scrimmage each and every week. There's not a week that goes by that you can, especially this time of year, go without quality line play on both sides of the ball. So I really appreciate the way that they've taken ownership of that.
Thanks, Sean. Appreciate your time.
Sure.
Hey, Sean, I was curious what your philosophy is going to be regarding any of your staff interviewing for jobs here as they become open and you enter the playoffs. And I know this is kind of educational for us because the rules have changed a little bit. So if you could fill us in on how you're going to approach that.
Yeah, Tim, I would say much like we've done before. So permission slips will need to be sent in. I know the timing is a little bit different this year, but as far as the rules go, we'll abide by the rules. And listen, anytime we're able to have the success that we do, and our people can get recognized and opportunities. I think it's great. And so, but at the end of the day, as I mentioned a little bit last week, I'm not sure if you were on that call or not, but we're going to do what's right by our team, and make sure that those things are at the appropriate time and place so that they don't become distractions.
Yeah, I did hear that, but I didn't know if maybe with the seating, now that things are a little more settled and we're closer to that time, if maybe things had maybe arranged themselves in your mind as to how you're going to do it.
Yeah, no, we Brandon and I have agreed that we want to do it. Again, we have to do it. What's in the best interest of the Buffalo Bills first, and we're excited for those people on our staffs that may in fact draw interest, and we're going to do everything we can to help them. And it would be a great opportunity for anybody to have those types of opportunities to interview and show what they've got.
Now, the general rule is coordinators get to interview for head coaching jobs. What's your general thought on the lower level assistants as coordinators or something like that with another team, which I don't think you have to honor, but if some people are interested, if teams are interested in your guys in that way.
Yeah, I mean, the rules change every year for certain reasons, and we usually just obviously abide by all the rules that the NFL sets forth, and it keeps you on your toes. Excuse me, because it does seem to change from time to time, but that's okay. We're all about improving, and I know the league is committed to improving.
And then my last question for you is, what is your thought process regarding your backup quarterback situation? Will things change with Jake Fromm or with Matt Barkley, putting Matt in a quarantine because now the playoff stakes are a little bit different? How will you alter your approach that way?
Yeah, as we sit here right now, Tim, no change to what we've done during the season. It seemed to have worked to this point, and we'll continue to execute that plan as we move forward in the days and weeks ahead.
Thanks, Sean.
Sure.
Hey, Sean, along those lines, similarly, what went into the decision with Davis Webb yesterday? Was that maybe a way of rewarding him for what he's been able to do for you guys on the practice squad this year?
Yeah, a little bit of that. I think he's done a phenomenal job. He really has, Jay. And I don't think I've been around a guy that's added value in so many ways to a team in a role that he has on the field. Let's just say, in terms of not being a starter. With all due respect to Davis, he's just he's got a tremendous set of intangibles. He's well liked in the locker room. He can play the position, and so I'm very happy to have Davis with us.
And in regards to John Brown, obviously the situation with the going onto the COVID list came up, but you were able to see him in practice last week. Did he look game ready to you? And assuming that he is able to come off that COVID list before the final game here, would you like to get him into a game before the postseason just to get him maybe knock a little bit of the rust off from the time that he's missed?
Yeah, I think the first part of your question, how did he look? I thought he looked like it was his second or third week back, whatever it was last week, Jay, and I thought he was making very good progress, and so we'll just see how this week plays itself out with COVID and the time that you have to go through in order before you can come back. So, but I thought John was in a good spot last week.
Thank you.
Sure.
Hey, Sean, one more question. Actually, that's kind of what I was going to ask about is John Brown, he comes off IR, then has to go on the COVID list. And then you mentioned that Cole is now week to week. Just how important, even more so now, is it that you can get John back as quickly as possible with Cole possibly being out for maybe some extended time here?
Yeah, John it would be good to get him back. He's been chomping at the bit, I know, to get out there, get back with his teammates. And I thought he had a good week last week, Heather. And so, yeah, the sooner the better. But again, want to take it one day at a time, make sure we're following the proper protocols here.
Great. Thank you.
Yep.